There are lots of places to find answers, but the coolest things happen when you use God as your helpline. You've got questions? He's got the ultimate answers. This is Helpline.
In this series, we've got questions from students about things that matter or impact their lives. You know, life is full of questions, and God has a whole book in the Bible to help us find our answers. And I'm going to show you how you can find your answers in Proverbs, a great place for advice. So let's get started.
Helpline.
Hey, this is the Helpline. What is your question?
My cat was taking a nap in the laundry pile, and I accidentally put her in a washing machine. What do I do?
What? Take her out. I'm not sure that she won't be sick, but at least she'll be clean.
My brother is driving me crazy. What do I do?
I just got grounded and I'm really mad at my mom and dad. What should I say?
My friend and I got in a fight, and I said some things I shouldn't have. What should I have said?
These are some really good questions, and they all bring us to one big question that you'll have to answer for the rest of your life. How do I deal with conflict? To me, conflict is like a really bad math problem. I think my head's gonna explode. You wanna have the answer, but you don't wanna go through all the work to get there. And no matter who you are, you'll have to learn how to deal with conflict. So what do? Is there a good way of handling conflict? Is there a bad way? Well, let's find out. Have you ever noticed that light brings things to life? Think about it. When all the lights in your room are off, it's probably easy for you to fall asleep or stay asleep. Wake up, you sleepyhead! Plants can't grow without light from the sun, like plant food. Sometimes light brings peace to a situation. One time, I had a really bad dream that an alligator climbed into bed with me. Mommy! Finally, I woke up. I turned on my lights and I prayed really hard. You see, my light in my room and from God gave me peace. For us, when things are in the light, we see them clearer. And sometimes that light shines from within. When things are left in the dark, sometimes it causes the opposite of peace, pain. One time, my friend left a container of milk in his backpack for 2 weeks. It was buried at the bottom, hidden in the darkness under all his books. One day, his books busted the container, and the smell was disgusting. P.U. Ugh. Lots of people experience pain from the smell of that rotten milk. So how does all this tie in with the issue of conflict? Well, conflict is like a really dark room. When two people are in the middle of a conflict, they can either stay in the dark, arguing and fighting, or they can turn on the light and find the answer in a way that will be respectful to one another. We know we can turn to God to help us with questions about life because He is looking out for us. God's way is the best way, and He desires for us to turn on the light by bringing light out from within us through the Bible that is planted in our hearts to help us learn how to deal with conflict. Here are some verses I found in Proverbs. Proverbs 29:11. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. In this verse, God is telling us that if we want to be the light in conflict with a brother or sister, a friend, or even your parents, we need to control how we act and what we say. Let's take a look at another verse. Proverbs 15:1. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Here, God says that how we talk to others will either give light or bring darkness. When we whine or complain or yell, we will stir up anger. But if we say things with a softer voice and a nicer attitude, we'll find that the conflict will be resolved far better. Proverbs 17:14. Starting to argue is like making a crack in a dam. So drop the matter before a fight breaks out. There are things that get us mad that aren't that important. Although conflict will happen in life, some conflict we can avoid. So ask yourself these 3 questions. Is the conflict hurting me or someone else? Will this conflict bother me in an hour or a day? Can a conversation with God help me work through this conflict? If you answer no to the first 2 questions and yes to the last one, this might be a conflict you need to let go. God can help bring light to your frustration when you get alone with Him. So how can this apply to your life? I bet many of you have said things you didn't mean, said things in a tone that hurt someone's feelings, or overreacted to a situation that really wasn't that big of a deal. But now you know where your helpline will be when conflict happens. You see, there are answers in Proverbs that will help you through life. And today, we learned what God says about dealing with conflict. Just remember, when in a fight, be the light.